They're banned in other countries, so why are pills which mimic the effects of drugs like ecstasy and speed freely available in the UK? Flying Angel and Silver Bullet are just names of two of the products that can be brought over the counter. The doctors warn they could be damaging to people's health.
Well, a legal high is a substance that gives you the effects of an illegal drug, class A, B or C, and that's why people take these things. But I don't like the name legal high because it implies that in some way it's acceptable or it's a good idea or it's been checked on people.
Legal highs, in my opinion, would be an incorrect term to use. A more accurate term would be psychoactive substances. These substances are far from legal on occasion, and when we have had these substances examined in the past by our colleagues and partners in forensic science, some of these legal highs, for want of a better term, have been found to be illegal.
And the simple truth is that these chemicals, and they are chemicals, haven't been checked. When you read the package it says not for human consumption, but it's clear they're being sold in these shops up and down the town and around Ireland for human consumption, even though they're actually labelled as plant food or bath salts or incense. There's an irony there that these things are being sold as plant food, but if you take them you could end up as a vegetable.
My son was found, well, he was in a house at a party. Somebody took very, very gravely ill before that. Another young adolescent got rushed away to hospital. He was lucky, he got saved. But for Adam it was too late because he got carried out of the flat or house that he was in. The ambulance came, and I honestly think that Adam had already gone in, because when the guy phoned for the ambulance he said he was unconscious, but I think he had actually gone, lost him. You don't want to see your child lying in a morgue gurney or a trolley. Because there's a police case, whatever the outcome is there, there's a very strong possibility there's going to be an inquest. I wasn't allowed to pick up and hold my child, and when I seen him I just wanted to lift him and hug him and kiss him, and I couldn't, I wasn't allowed.
In my experience, the use of legal highs throughout the province and throughout the wider UK would be used and misused by persons from as young as 11 years old right up to persons in their 50s and 60s. Across all levels of society, across the spectrum of society, we find people from stable backgrounds, people from disrupted backgrounds, and indeed you can't really predict who may have become or developed an issue with legal highs.
I started taking drugs because I thought my life was going downhill. I'd lost my father. I was just bad. I had really bad ADHD, and I just thought I wanted to join in my old lads.
It's scary. It's terrifying how it just damages a young person's life and a family life beyond. So it is. But there is help and support out there.
Adam, he would have had disrupted sleep, or else he would have slept the clock round, depending on where he was coming up or coming down. He would have been depressed, he didn't eat, you just could see the weight loss in him. When he was under the influence of them, he would have sweated profusely, and I always knew when he had been messing, because when he was coming back down off them, sort of maybe the next day he'd got massively bright red cheeks, and instantly everybody knew you've been taking rubbish again.
There's a lot of mental health issues that go along with the legal highs. Recently there, just before Christmas, we had a few people who had come in, and they were going through the psychotic episode, and it was really, really scary.
I felt that I wasn't so much addicted, I just thought I needed it to get me through the day, and I was getting withdrawal symptoms that was waking up by cold sweats, shakes, everything. I wasn't eating, I wasn't doing nothing. It was really, really bad dehydration all the time.
I seen my son change from a very happy-go-lucky wee boy with a great personality, very well respected and liked with his peer pressure, into a child, because he was a child. This started from he was like 14 and a half, 15, from the cannabis, and then progressed. And he then became a friend that none of his friends wanted to bother with.
Interesting question there, the long-term effects. We don't know, because we don't know what these chemicals are. The minute that one becomes established, like methadone a few years ago, and it's clear the health harm effects become very, very clear, there's a number of deaths on it, it gets banned as such, and they stop selling it from the shops, and then they move on, they tweak a molecule on the chemicals and produce something else. And this stuff, for the medicines I prescribe, it's a 5 to 10 year process of checking them on animals and then on humans and getting the dosages right and making sure there aren't side effects down the track. But this stuff is being turned out in factories in overseas or even garages here in Northern Ireland or over the water. And goodness knows what the long-term effects are is the short answer. I don't know what's 5 or 10 years time.
What we need as a government to do more, we need these substances banned completely. At the end of the day, they turn around, change a few chemicals about and it's back on the ground and it's coming here faster than anybody knows it. It's a major problem at the minute. We want to highlight the problem and make people aware of the dangers of a legal high because there is nothing legal about legal highs.
As time goes by every day, you're more aware that you've lost them forever. You know, you're never going to have them back. I now have to go and spend time with my child in his cemetery to look at his grave, and I can never tell him that I love him face to face like I used to be able to. I always used to tell him I love you forever and a day, Adam.
I decided to stop about 6-7 months ago. So I've been clean about 6-7 months, and the reasons for me stopping was for my own health, for my own good, but mainly I didn't want to lose my family over a bag of Magic Dragon, or even possibly worse, death.
The effects of having a criminal record, especially in relation to drug offences, are colossal. They range, obviously having a drug conviction will be subject to any vetting check, so anyone who has aspirations of a career which may require vetting, or anyone who wants to work in fields such as youth work, law enforcement or any other government agencies, the effects of having a criminal conviction, and especially in respect of drugs, are fatal on occasions. They can have a real ending effect on your career prospects. As well as that, we also have the issues of applying for visas, either for work or for travel, in some of the other nations across the world who have a very strict policy in respect of persons with drug convictions, and obviously with a criminal records check you cannot hide.
The click of a finger, literally everything's gone, you know, and Adam had so much to live for and so much to give, and I can honestly say that I would never want to wish this on any parent because it's your worst nightmare.
So I think the long-term effects, the scary thing with this, and something I'd ask any young person who's taking this stuff to really reflect on, is we don't know. And maybe you're thinking of getting high for the night and that's grand, but this stuff will catch you in the long grass and there could well be serious problems further down the track.